Miss Julie's gone mad again tonight. Completely mad. I went with his lordship to the station. On the way back, I went into the barn for a dance. And who should I see but Miss Julie leading the dance with the gamekeeper. As soon as she sees me, she rushes across and offers her arm for the ladies' waltz. And then she danced like... I've never seen the like of it. She's mad.
She always has been. Especially this last fortnight since the engagement got broken off.
What about that? He was a gentleman, even if he wasn't rich. Oh, they're so full of caprices. It's strange, though, that a young lady should choose to stay at home with her servants on Midsummer Eve, sooner than go with her father to visit her relatives,
I bet she doesn't feel like seeing anyone after that hullabaloo she had with her young man.
Very likely. He knew how to stand up for himself, though. I saw it, but I took care not to let on I had.
No. You saw it?
Down in the stable yard one evening, Miss Julie was putting him through his paces, as she called it. You know what that meant? She was making him leap over her riding whip the way you teach a dog how to jump. He leapt twice. Each time he got cut. The third time he grabbed the whip from her hands and broke it across his knee. That was the last we saw of him.
Was that what happened? You can't mean it.
It's the way it was. Now, what have you got to tempt me with this evening, Christine?
Just a bit of kidney I cut from the joint.
Lovely. Ceci est mon grand délice. You might have warmed the plate, though.
You're fussier than his lordship himself once you start.
Don't pull my hair. You know how sensitive I am.
It's only love.
Beer on Midsummer Eve? No, thank you. I can do better than that. Yellow seal, you observe. Now get me a glass. A wine glass. I'm going to drink this pure.
God help the woman who gets you for a husband. I never met such a fusspot.
Oh, nonsense. You be bloody lucky to get a gentleman like me. I don't think it's cost you anything to be known as my fiancé. It's good, it's very good. It's perhaps not quite sufficiently chambre. I got this one at Dijon. 4 francs a litre it cost. And there was the bottling and the duty. What are you cooking now? The smell is infernal.
Oh, some filthy mutt Miss Julie wants for Diana.
Kindly express yourself more delicately, Christine. Why should you have to cook for a confounded dog on Midsummer Eve? Is it ill?
It's ill, all right. Managed to slip out with the gatekeeper's pug, and now it's in trouble. And that Miss Julie won't allow.
Miss Julie is stuck up in some respects. In others, she demeans herself. Exactly like her ladyship when she was alive. She was most at home in the stable or the kitchen, but one horse wasn't enough to draw her carriage. Went around with filthy cups. Had to be a crest on every button. Miss Julie now, she doesn't care about herself or her person. She's not, to my mind, what one would call a lady. Just now in the barn, she grabbed the gamekeeper from Anna and made him dance with her. We'd never do a thing like that. It's how it is when the gentry try to act common. They become really common. She's a magnificent creature, though. With a figure, shoulders, etc.
No need to overdo it. I've heard what Clara says, and she dresses her.
Clara, you women are always jealous of each other. I've been out riding with her. The way she dances.
Well, aren't you going to dance with me when I'm ready?
Yes, of course.
Promise?
Promise, if I say I'd do a thing, I'll do it. Thank you for that. It was very nice.
I'll be back immediately. Don't wait for me. Well, is it ready?
Have you ladies secrets to discuss?
Don't be inquisitive.
Charming, that smell of violets.
Impertinent, so you know about perfumes too. You certainly know how to dance. Stop looking now. Go away.
Is it some witch's brew you ladies are preparing for Midsummer Eve, which will foretell the future and show whom fate has in store for you?
You'd need sharp eyes to see him. Oh, put it into a bottle now and cork it well. Come and dance a schottische with me, Jean.
I don't wish to seem disrespectful, but this dance I had promised to Christine.
Well, she can have another dance with you, can't you, Christine? You'll lend me Jean for a minute.
Well, it's hardly up to me. If Miss Julie condescends, it's not his place to refuse. Go ahead, Jean. Thank Madame for the honor.
To be frank, without wishing to offend, I wonder, is it wise for Miss Julie to dance twice in succession with the same partner? These people soon start talking.
Talking? What kind of talk? What do you mean?
If Madame doesn't understand, I must speak more plainly. It looks bad if you show a preference for one of your servants while...
Really, what an idea. I'm astounded. I, the lady of the house, honor my servants by attending their dance. And when I do, I want to dance with someone who knows how to lead. I don't want to look ridiculous.
As Madame commands, I'm at your service.
Don't regard it as a command. Tonight, we are ordinary people trying to be happy, and all rank is laid aside. Come, give me your arm. Don't worry, Christine. I won't steal your lover.
No, she really is mad. What a way to dance. Everyone grinning at her from behind the doors. What do you make of her, Christine?
Well, she's got a monthly coming on, and then she always acts strange. Well, are you going to dance with me now?
You're not angry with me for going off like that?
No. Little thing like that doesn't bother me. Besides, I know my place.
You're a sensible girl, Christine. You'd make a good wife.
Well, you are a fine gentleman, running off and leaving your partner like that.
On the contrary, Miss Julie, as you see, I have hastened back to the partner I forsook.
Well, you certainly dance magnificently. Why are you wearing uniform on Midsummer Eve? Take it off at once.
Then I must ask your ladyship to step outside for a moment. I keep my dark coat here.
Does my presence embarrass you? Can't you change a coat with me here? Well, you'd better go back to your room then. No, stay. I'll turn my back.
With your ladyship's permission.
Christine, Jean is very familiar with you. Are you engaged to him?
Engaged? If you like. We call it that.
Call?
Well, you've been engaged yourself, madam.
We were properly engaged.
Didn't come to anything, though, did it?
Oh, très gentil, Monsieur Jean. Oh là là, c'est très gentil.
Vous voulez plaisanter, madame?
Et vous voulez parler français? Where did you learn that?
In Switzerland. I was the wine waiter at the biggest hotel in Lucerne.
Well, you certainly look quite the gentleman in those tales. Charmant.
Oh, you're flattering me.
Flattering you.
Well, my natural modesty forbids me to suppose you would pay a truthful compliment to one so humble as myself. So I assumed you were exaggerating, for which I believe the polite word is flattering.
Now, where did you learn to talk like that? You must have spent a lot of your time in the theater.
Yes. And I've been around a bit, too.
But you were born here, weren't you?
My father worked on the farm next to yours. I used to see you as a child, though you wouldn't remember me.
No, really?
Yes, there was one particular occasion when... No, I really oughtn't to talk about that now.
Oh, yes, do. Come on, just this once.
No, I really couldn't now. Some other time.
Some other time means never. Is it so dangerous to tell it now?
Oh, it isn't dangerous at all. But rather not. Look at her.
Charming wife she'll make. Does she snore, too?
No, she doesn't do that, but she talks in her sleep.
How do you know?
I've heard her.
Why don't you sit?
Oh, I wouldn't permit myself to do that in your presence.
If I order you to.
Well, then I shall obey.
Well, sit then. No, wait. Could you get me a drink first?
I don't know what we have in the ice cabinet. Only beer, I think.
What do you mean? Only beer? My taste is very simple. I'd prefer it to wine. Thank you. Won't you have something yourself?
Oh, I'm not much of a beer drinker. But if Madam commands.
Commands? Surely you know a gentleman never allows a lady to drink alone.
That's perfectly true.
Now, drink my health. Are you shy?
To my mistress's health.
Bravo. Now kiss my shoe and the ceremony is complete. Excellent. You should have been an actor.
We mustn't go on like this, Miss Julie. Someone might come in and see.
Then what?
Oh, people would start talking, that's all. Have you heard the way their tongues were wagging up there just now?
And what were they saying? Sit down, tell me.
Well, I don't want to hurt you, but they were using expressions which hinted that. You can guess, you're not a child. And when a lady is seen drinking alone with a man, let alone a servant, at night...
We're not alone. Christine's here.
Asleep.
Then I shall wake her. Christine. Are you asleep? Christine. Oh, my God, she is asleep. Will you wake up?
Don't disturb her.
What?
People who stand at a stove all day get tired when night time comes. And sleep is something to be respected.
Gallant thought, and one that does you honor. Come outside, then. Pick some lilac with me.
With you?
With me.
Impossible, I couldn't.
I don't understand. Surely you don't imagine that
No, I don't. Other people might.
What? That I should have an amour with a servant?
I'm not being conceited, but such things have happened. And to these people, nothing is sacred.
Quite the little aristocrat, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
If I choose to step down, then
No, don't step down, Miss Julie. Take my advice. No one would ever believe you did it freely. People would always say you fell.
I have a higher opinion of people than you. Come and see. Come.
You know, you're strange.
Perhaps. So are you. Everything is strange. Life, people, everything is a scum which drifts on and on across the water until it sinks. You know, I have a dream which recurs from time to time. I'm reminded of it now. I've climbed to the top of a very tall pillar. I'm sitting there and I can see no way to descend. When I look down, I get dizzy. And I must come down, but I don't have the courage to jump. I can't stay up there, and I long to fall, but I don't fall. I know I shall have no peace till I come down, no rest. Till I come down to the ground. When I get down, I know I should want to burrow my way deep into the earth. Have you ever felt anything like that?
No. I dream I'm lying under a tall tree in a dark wood. I want to climb up to the top. Look out over the bright landscape where the sun shines. Plunder the nests up there where the golden eggs are. I climb. The trunk is so thick and slippery, and it's so very far to the first branch. I know if I could reach that first branch, I'd climb to the top as though up a ladder. I haven't reached it yet, but I shall reach it. Even if it's only in a dream.
Why do we sit here talking about dreams? Come now, just into the park.
We must sleep with 9 midsummer flowers under our pillows tonight, Miss Julie. Then our dreams will come true.
Got something in your eye?
There's only a speck of dust. It's nothing. It'll go.
My sleeve must have brushed it. Come here. Sit down. I'll take it out for you. Sit still now. Quite still. Obey me. Do you believe you're trembling? You great, big, strong lout. What muscles you have.
Miss Julie.
Yes, Monsieur Jean.
Attention, je ne suis qu'un homme.
Oh, sit still, will you? Let me see. Yes. There. It's out. Kiss kiss my hand and thank me.
Miss Julie, Christina's asleep now. We can talk. Will you
Kiss my
listen to
hand
me?
first.
Will you listen
Kiss
to
my hand first!
All right. You've only yourself to blame.
For what?
For what? You're not a child. You're 25. Don't you know it's dangerous to play with fire?
Not for me. I'm insured.
No, you're not. And if you are, there's inflammable material around that isn't.
Oh, meaning you.
Yes, not because I'm me, but because I'm a young man.
Of handsome appearance. Incredible conceit. Don Juan, perhaps, Or a Joseph, yes. I do believe you're a Joseph.
Do you?
I almost fear it.
You joking or serious?
Serious.
You were being serious just now, too. You play games far too seriously, and that's dangerous. I'm tired of this particular game, and with your permission, I'll get back to my work. His lordship's boots must be ready in time, and it's well past midnight.
Forget the boots.
No, I won't! They're part of my job, which doesn't include being your playmate, and never will. I flatter myself I'm above that.
Aren't we proud?
In some respects, yes. In others, not.
Have you ever been in love?
Oh, we don't call it that. I have been fond of a lot of girls. One time I was sick because I couldn't get the one I wanted. Sick. Like those princes in the Arabian Nights who couldn't eat or sleep because of love.
Who was she? Who was she?
You cannot order me to answer that.
If I ask you as a friend, as an equal, who was she?
You.
Absurd.
Yes, if you like, it was absurd. Look, this is the story I didn't want to tell you just now. Now I will tell you. Do you know what the world looks like from down there? No, you don't. Like hawks and eagles whose backs we seldom see because most of the time they hover above us. I lived in a hut with 7 brothers and sisters and a pig out in the grey fields whenever a tree grew. From the window I could see the wall of his lordship's park with apple trees rising above it. It was the garden of paradise, and there stood many evil angels with flaming swords to guard it. But despite them, I and other boys found a way into the tree of life. You despise me now.
I suppose all boys steal apples.
Oh, you can say that now, but you do despise me. However, one day I entered the garden with my mother to weed the onion patch. In one corner of the garden there stood a Turkish pavilion in the shadow of jasmine trees, overgrown with honeysuckle. I'd never seen such a building. I wondered what it could be for. People went in and came out again. One day the door was left open, crept inside. I saw the walls hung with portraits of kings and emperors. Scarlet curtains on the windows with tassels on them.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. It was the lavatory. I'd never been inside the palace. I'd only ever been to the church, but this was more beautiful. No matter where my thoughts might stray, they always returned there. And gradually I began to long, just once, to experience the full ecstasy of actually... Enfin, I tiptoed inside, saw, and marveled. And then someone was coming. And there was only one way out for the lords and ladies. For me, there was another. I had no choice but to take it. I ran. Broke through a raspberry hedge, charged across a strawberry patch. I came to a terrace with a rose garden. There I saw a pink dress and a pair of white stockings. You. And I looked at you as you walked among the roses, and I thought, if it is true that a thief can enter heaven and dwell with the angels. And it's strange that a peasant's child here on earth cannot enter the great park and play with the Count's daughter.
Do you suppose all poor children have felt like you?
Have all? Of course they have, of course.
It must be the most terrible misfortune to be poor.
Miss Julie, a dog may lie on the Countess's sofa. A horse may have its nose patted by a young lady's hand. But a servant... Every now and then you get a man who has strength enough to hoist himself up in the world, but how often does it happen? However, do you know what I did? The following Sunday, I scrubbed myself with soap and hot water, put on my good clothes and went to church in order that I might see you. I saw you, returned home determined to die. But I wanted to die pleasantly, without pain. And then I remembered it was dangerous to sleep under an elder bush. We had one at the time in full flower. So I stripped it of everything it held, lay down in the oat bin. Have you ever noticed how beautiful oats are? Soft to the touch like human skin. Closed the lid, shut my eyes, and went to sleep. And I woke up feeling really very ill. But as you can see, I didn't die. What did I want? I don't know. I'd no hope of winning you, of course. But you were a symbol to me of the hopelessness of my ever pulling myself up out of the class into which I had been born.
You know you're quite a raconteur. Did you ever go to school?
Yes, a bit. But I've been to a lot of theaters, and I've read a lot of novels, and I've heard the gentries talk. That's where I've learnt most.
Really? You listen to what we say?
Oh, certainly. I've heard plenty, too. Sitting on the coach box or rowing the boat. One time I heard yourself and a young lady.
Oh, indeed. What did you hear?
I wouldn't care to repeat it, but it surprised me a little. I wonder where you could have learnt those words. Perhaps at bottom there isn't such a difference as people imagine between people and people.
Nonsense. We don't do what you do when we're engaged.
You sure? Oh, come, Miss Julia. You don't have to play the innocent with me.
The man to whom I offered my love was a bastard.
Oh, they always say that afterwards.
Always?
I've heard the expression before on similar occasions.
On what occasions?
Like the one in question. The last time I actually slept with a lady.
Be quiet. I don't wish to hear any more.
She didn't either. Strange. Now, have I your permission to go to bed?
Go to bed on Midsummer Eve.
Yes, dancing with that pack up there doesn't amuse me.
Take the key of the boat and row me out onto the lake. I want to see the sunrise.
Is that wise?
You speak so you're frightened of your reputation.
Well, why not? I don't want to get the sack without a reference now that I'm beginning to make my way. Besides, I think I have a certain responsibility towards Christine.
Oh, I see. It's Christine now.
But it's you two. Now take my advice, go to your room and go to bed.
Am I to obey you?
For once, for your own sake, I beg you. It's late. Drowsiness makes one drunk. Head grows dizzy. So I dip my ears down to see me. I think I hear the other servants coming here to look for me. If they find us together, you're lost.
I know these people and I love them. As I know they love me, let them come here and I'll prove it to you.
They don't love you, Miss Julie. They take your food, but once you've turned your back, they spit at you, believe me. Just listen to what they're singing. Just listen. No, don't listen.
Why? What are they singing?
Filthy song about you and me.
Traitors.
But that's the way they are, and you can't fight them. You can only run away.
Oh, yes. Yes, we must run away. Where? We can't go out or into Christine's room.
No, into my room, then. You can trust me. I am your true, loyal, and respectful friend.
Suppose if they look for you in there...
I'll bolt the door, and if anyone tries to break in, I'll shoot. Now, come. Please, come.
You promise?
I swear. You see, and you heard. Do you think you can possibly stay here now?
No, I don't. What can we do?
Go away. Travel. Far away from here.
Travel. Yes, but where?
Switzerland. The Italian lakes. Have you never been there?
No. Is it beautiful there?
Ah. An eternal summer. Laurel trees. Oranges. Ah.
What shall we do there?
I'll start a hotel. Deluxe for deluxe people.
Hotel?
Yes, that's the life, believe me. New faces all the time. New languages. Never a moment for worry or wondering what to do. There's work to be done every minute. Bells ring day and night. Trains whistle. Carriages coming and going. And all the time the golden sovereigns roll into the till.
Sounds exciting. I couldn't run
Now,
away.
you should be the mistress of the house. The pearl of the establishment. With your looks and your style, we'd be made to be terrific. Sit at your desk like a queen. Set your slaves in motion by pressing an electric bell. Your guests would file humbly before your throne. Lay their tribute upon your table. No idea how people tremble when they get a bill into their hands. I shall salt the bills. You shall sugar them with your sweetest smile. Oh, let's get away from here now, at once, for the next train. It could be in Malmö at 6:30. Hamburg, 8:40 tomorrow morning. Frankfurt to Basel, it'd take a day through the Gotthard Pass, and we could be in Como in... Let me see, we could be in Como in 3 days. 3 days.
How wonderful. Well, Jean, you must give me courage. Tell me you love me. Come and kiss me.
I can't, not again, not in this house. I love you, never feared that. Can you doubt it, Miss Julie?
Yes. Call me Julie. There are no barriers between us now. Call me Julie.
I can't. There are still barriers between us. There always will be, so long as we're in this house. There's the past. There's his lordship. Never met a man I respect as much as I do him. And I got to see his gloves on a chair, and I feel like a small boy. And I got to hear that bell ring, and I jump like a frightened horse. And I see his boots standing there so straight and proud. I cringe. Superstitions! Ideas crammed into our heads when we're children and we can't escape them. Come with me to another country, to a republic, and they'll cringe before my porter's livery. Yes, they'll cringe, I tell you, but I shan't, because I wasn't born to cringe. I'm a man. I've got character. Today I'm a servant. Next year I'll own my own hotel. In 10 years' time I'll be a landed gentleman. Then I'll go to Romania, get myself a decoration, and I might, mind you, end up with a title.
Oh, how wonderful.
In Romania I could buy myself a title. I'd be a count. You'd be a countess. My countess.
What do I care about all that? That's what I'm giving up now.
Tell me you love me. Otherwise, what am I?
I'll tell you 1,000 times later. Now, above all, no emotional scenes. We're finished. Let's talk this over quietly like sensible people. Now, you sit there, I'll sit here, and we talk as though nothing had ever happened.
My God, have you no feelings?
Nobody has more feelings than I have. I know how to control them.
A moment ago, you could kiss
That
my
was a
shoe
moment
and I-
ago. Now we've something else to think about.
Don't speak so harshly to me.
I'm not speaking harshly. I'm talking sense. One folly has been committed. Don't let's commit any more. His lordship may be back at any moment, and by then we've got to have decided what we're going to do with our lives. What do you think of my plans for our future? Do you approve of them?
Seem to be quite sensible to me. Oh, just one question. A big project like that takes a lot of capital. Have you that?
Certainly I have. I have my experience, my professional expertise, my knowledge of languages. Adequate capital, I should have thought.
All that doesn't add up to the price of a railway ticket.
It's perfectly true. Which is why I need a backer to advance me some money.
Oh. Where are you going to find one so quickly?
You'll find one if you come with me.
I couldn't. And I don't have any money of my own.
Then our whole plan collapses.
And?
Things must stay as they are.
Do you suppose I'm going to remain under this roof as your whore? With them sniggering at me behind their fingers? No, take me away from here. Away from the shame and the dishonor. Oh, my God, what have I done? Oh, what have I done?
Oh, don't start that. What have you done? Same as many another before you.
You despise me? I'm falling. I'm falling.
Fall down to me, I'll lift you up again.
What dreadful power drew me to you? Was it the attraction of the weak to the strong? The faller to the climber? Was it love? Was this love? Do you know what love is?
Hi. Certainly I do. Do you think I've never had a woman before?
Can you think and talk like that?
That's life the way I've learned it, and that's the way I am. Now, you calm down and stop acting the lady. We're both in the same boat now. Come here, me girl, I'll give you a glass of wine.
Well, where did you get that wine from?
Cellar.
My father's Burgundy.
Was it too good for his son-in-law?
And I drink beer.
Well, it merely proves you have an inferior palate to mine.
Thief.
Are you going to tell?
Oh. Accomplice to a sneak thief. Was I drunk? Was I dreaming? Midsummer night, night of innocent happiness.
Innocent,
Is there anyone on this earth as miserable as I am?
Now, why should you be miserable after such a conquest? You think of Christine up there. Don't you imagine she has feelings, too?
I thought so just now, but I don't anymore. Servants are servants.
And whores are whores.
God in heaven. End my miserable life. Save me from this mire into which I'm sinking. Save me. Save me.
I can't deny I feel sorry for you. When I lay in the onion bed and watched you walk among the roses, I might as well tell you now, I had the same filthy thoughts as any small boy.
You wanted to die for me?
Hmm? Oh, the oat bin. Oh, that was just talk.
Alive?
More or less. I read a story in a paper about a sweep who curled up in a wood chest with some lilacs because he'd had a paternity suit brought against him.
I see. You're the kind
Oh,
who
I had to
tells...
think of something. Women always fall for fine stories.
Pig.
Shit.
Now you've managed to see the eagle's back.
Not exactly its back.
I was to be the first branch.
The branch was rotten.
I was to be the signboard at the hotel.
And I the hotel.
I was to sit at your desk, attract your customers, and fiddle your bills.
No, I would have done that.
Can a human soul become so foul?
Wash it dead.
Servant! Lackey! Stand up when I speak!
Servant's whore, lackey's bitch, shut your mouth and get out of here. You dare to stand there and call me foul? No one of my class ever behaved the way you did tonight. Do you think any kitchen maid would accost a man like that? Have you ever seen any girl of my class offer her body in that way? I've only ever seen it among animals and prostitutes.
You're right. Hit me. Trample on me. I've deserved nothing better. I am worthless. Only help me. Help me out of this if there is a way out.
I don't want to disclaim my share in the honor of having seduced you. Do you think any man in my position would have dared to so much as even glance at you unless you'd invited him? I'm still dumbfounded.
And proud.
Yes, why not? Though I must confess I found the conquest rather too easy to be really exciting.
Hurt me more.
No. Oh, forgive me for what I've said. I don't strike defenseless people, least of all women. I can't deny it gratifies me to find that it was merely a gilt veneer that dazzled our humble eyes. The whiteness of those cheeks was only powder, and those polished fingernails had black edges. And that handkerchief was filthy, even though it smelled of perfume. But at the same time, it hurts me to find that what I was aspiring towards wasn't something worthier and more solid. It hurts me to see you sunk so low. To find that deep down you're only a kitchen slut. It hurts me. Like seeing the autumn flowers whipped to tatters by the rain and trodden into the mud.
You speak as though you were already above me.
And so I am. You see, I could make you a countess. You could never make me a count.
But I'm of noble blood, and you can never be that.
That's true. My children could be noblemen.
Well, you're a thief. That's something I'm not.
There are worse things in life than being a thief. Besides, when I work in a house, I regard myself more or less as a member of the family. A child of the house. And people don't call it stealing when a child picks a berry off a bush heavy with fruit. No, Miss Julie. You're a fine woman. You're far too good for someone like me. You've been the victim of a drunken folly. You're trying to cover it up for yourself by pretending to yourself that you love me. You don't. Unless perhaps physically. And then your love is no better than mine. But I could never be content with being just your animal. And I could never make you love me.
Are you sure of that?
I mean, it might happen. Oh, yes, I could love you easily. You're beautiful, refined, educated. Lovable when you want to be. Once you've awoken a man's passion, it could never die. You're like strong wine, strongly spiced. One kiss from you.
You won't win me like that.
How then? Not by fine words, not by caresses, not by worrying about your future, by trying to rescue you from what you've done. How?
Oh, I don't know. I detest you as I detest rats. But I cannot run away from you.
Run away with me.
Run away? Oh, yes. Yes, we must run away. God, I'm so tired. Give me a drink first. First, we must talk. You have a little time?
Don't drink too much, you get drunk.
What does that matter?
Does it matter? It's stupid to get drunk. What were you going to say to me just now?
We must run away. But first we must talk. That is, I must talk. So far, you've been doing all the talking. You've told me all about yourself. Well, now I must tell you all about myself so we know all about each other before we go away together. You see, my mother was a commoner. Quite humble birth. She was brought up with ideas about equality, freedom for women and all that. And she had a decided aversion to marriage. So when my father proposed to her, she replied she would never become his wife. Well, in the end she did. I was brought into the world against my mother's wish, so far as I can gather. She wanted to bring me up as a child of nature. And into the bargain, I was to learn everything that a boy has to learn, so that I might stand as an example of how a woman can be as good as a man. I had to wear boys' clothes, learn to look after the horses, though I was never allowed into the cowshed. I had to learn to groom and saddle them, hunt, even slaughter animals. Meanwhile, on the estate, all the men were set to perform the women's tasks and all the women's the men's, so that in the end the estate began to fail and we became the laughingstock of the whole district. Then my father put his foot down. Everything was changed back to the way it was before, and that was when they married. Then my mother fell ill. What illness, I don't know. But she often had convulsions and hid herself in the attic and the garden and sometimes stayed out all night. Oh, then there was the great fire, which you've heard about. You know, the house, the stables, and the cowshed were all burnt down under circumstances suggesting arson. But the accident happened the very day our quarterly insurance had expired, and the premium my father sent and been delayed through the inefficiency of the servant carrying it, so that it hadn't arrived in time.
Don't drink so much.
What does it matter? So we were left penniless, and we had to sleep in the carriages. My father couldn't think what to do, where to find the money to rebuild the house. Then Mother advised him to ask for a loan from a friend of hers, a brick merchant, who lived in the neighborhood. Father asked for the loan and got the money, free of interest, which really rather surprised him. So the house was rebuilt. Now, do you know who burnt the house down?
Your mother.
Do you know who the brick merchant was?
Your mother's lover.
Do you know whose the money was?
No, I don't know that.
It was my mother's.
His lordship's too, then. Unless there'd been a marriage settlement.
No, there wasn't any marriage settlement. My mother had a little money which she didn't want my father to have the use of, so she entrusted it to her friend.
Who kept it?
Exactly. He kept it. All this came to my father's knowledge, but he couldn't start an action, repay his wife's lover, or prove that the money was his wife's. It was my mother's revenge on him for taking control of the house out of her hands. My father was on the verge of shooting himself. Rumor was that he had done so, but he failed to kill himself. Well, he didn't die. And he made my mother pay for what she'd done. Those next 5 years were dreadful for me, I can tell you. I felt sorry for my father, but I took my mother's side because I didn't know the circumstances. You see, I'd learned from her to hate and mistrust men. She hated men, as I've told you. And I promised her I would never be the slave to any man.
Then you got engaged to the young lawyer.
So that he should be my slave.
And he wasn't willing.
He was. Oh, he was willing enough, but he didn't get the chance. I tired of it.
I saw it in the stable.
So what?
How he broke off the engagement.
Well, that's a lie. It was I who broke it off. You mean saying he did it, the little liar?
He wasn't a liar. You hate men, Miss Julie.
Yes. Most of the time. When nature burns. Oh, God, will the fire never die?
You hate me, too.
Immeasurably. I'd like to shoot you like an animal.
The criminal gets 2 years penal servitude and the animal is shot. That's the law for bestiality, isn't it? But you've nothing to shoot me with. So what are we going to do?
Go away.
Torment each other to death?
No. To be happy. 2 days, 2 weeks. So long as we can be happy. And then die.
Die? Don't be stupid. I'd rather start a hotel than that.
On the Lake of Como. Where the sun always shines. Where the laurels are green at Christmas. And the orange trees flame.
Actually, it's always raining on the Lake of Como. I never saw any oranges there except in the grocer's shops. It's a very good spot for tourists. Lots of villas to hire out to loving couples, and that's a very profitable industry. Do you know why?
Why?
They rent them for 6 months and leave after 3 weeks.
Why? Why after 3 weeks?
Because they quarrel, of course. They have to pay the full rent. So it goes on, couple after couple. Yes. Love must go on, even if not for very long.
Don't you want to die with me?
I don't want to die at all. Partly because I like life, partly because I regard suicide as a crime against the providence which gave us life.
You believe in God? You?
Certainly I do. And I go to church every other Sunday. Quite frankly now, I'm very tired of all this. I'm going to bed.
I see. And you think I'm going to rest content with that? Don't you know what a man owes to a woman he has shamed?
Ah. I always pay my debts.
Don't you know what the law says?
Unfortunately, the law has no penalty for a woman who seduces a man.
Can you see any solution? Other than that we should go away, get married, and part.
But if I refuse to enter into this mésalliance...
Mésalliance?
Yes, for me. You see, I have a better heritage than you have. None of my ancestors ever committed arson.
How do you know?
Oh, you couldn't prove it, because we don't have any family records, except with the police. I've studied your pedigree in a book I found on a table in the drawing room. Do you know who the first of your ancestors to get a title was? He was a miller who let the king sleep with his wife one night during the Danish War. I don't have any noble ancestors like that.
This is my reward for opening my heart to a servant. For giving my family's honor.
Honor?
If you at least loved me.
For the last time, what do you want? Shall I burst into tears? Shall I jump over your riding crop? Shall I kiss you, lie to you for 3 weeks in Como, and then what? What do you want? What do you want me to do? It's beginning to get tiresome. Always like this when you get involved with women. Miss Julie, I know that you are unhappy. I can see that you're suffering. I don't understand you. We don't fool around like you do. We don't hate. Love is a game we play when we've little time free from work, but we're not free all day and all night like you. I think you must be ill. Yes, undoubtedly, you are ill.
Speak to me kindly, Jean. Treat me like a human being.
Act like one yourself, then. You spit on me, but you won't let me wipe it off on you.
Help me. Help me. Just tell me what to do. Where shall I go?
For God's sake, if I only knew.
I've been mad, I know. I know I have been mad. Isn't there some way out?
Stay here, keep calm. No one knows.
It's impossible. The servants know, and Christine.
They don't know for sure, and they wouldn't really believe that such a thing could happen.
It could happen again.
Oh, my God, why didn't I think of that? Look, there's only one possible answer. You must go away now, at once, and alone. I can't come with you, then we'll be finished. You must go now, far away, anywhere.
Go away alone, I can't.
You must. And before his lordship returns. Look, if you stay, you know it'll happen. Once one has made a mistake, one wants to go on because the damage has already been done. Then you get more and more careless, and eventually you get found out, so go. We'll write to his lordship later and tell him everything. Except that it was me. He'd never believed that, and I doubt if he'd really want to know who it was.
I'll go if you'll come with me.
Are you mad, woman? Miss Julie run away with her servant. They'll be in the papers in a couple of days. His lordship would never live that down.
I can't go! I can't stay. Help me. Oh, God, I'm so tired. I'm so dreadfully tired. Oh, help me. Order me. I can't think. I can't act.
Now you see what a contemptible creature you are. Why do you prink yourselves up and stick your noses in the air as though you were the lords of creation? Very well, then I shall order you. Go to your room, get dressed, get some money for the journey, and come back here.
Come with me.
To your room. Now you've been crazy again. I'll go at once.
Speak to me kindly, Jean.
An order always sounds unkind. Now you know how it feels.
Mess. What on earth have you been up to?
I was Miss Julie. She had the servants in. Must have been fast asleep. Didn't you hear anything?
I slept like a log.
You dressed for church already?
Yes. Promised to come with me to communion this morning.
Oh, so I did. And you brought the uniform. All right, then. What's the lesson today?
Execution of John the Baptist, I expect.
Oh, God, that's a long one. You're strangling me. Oh, I'm tired. So tired.
Well, what have you been doing? Up all night. You're quite green in the face.
I was just sitting here talking to Miss Julie.
He doesn't know what's right and proper, that one.
Oh, Christine. It's strange when you think of it. Her.
What's strange?
Everything.
Have you been drinking together, too?
Yes.
For shame. Look me in the eyes.
Yes?
Is it possible?
Yes.
Oh. That I'd never have believed. No. Shame on you. Shame.
You're not jealous of her, are you?
No, not of her. If it had been Clara or Sophie, then I'd have torn your eyes out. But her? No. I don't know why. Oh, but it's disgusting.
Are you angry with her, then?
No, with you. It's a wicked thing to have done. Wicked. Poor lass. No, I don't care who hears me say it. I don't want to stay any longer in a house where people can't respect their employers.
Why should we respect them?
Yes, you're so clever, you tell me. You don't want to work for people who lower themselves, do you? You lower yourself by it, that's my opinion.
Yes, but it's a comfort for us to know that they aren't any better than us.
Not to my mind, it isn't. If they're no better than we are, there's no point in our trying to improve ourselves. Think of his lordship. Think of him. All the misery he's had in his time. I don't want to stay here any longer. Blessed Jesus. And with someone like you. If it had been that young lawyer fellow, if it had been a gentleman.
What's wrong with me?
Oh, you're all right in your way. But there's a difference between people and people. I'll never be able to forget this. Miss Julie, who was always so proud, so cool with men. I never thought she'd go and give herself to someone. And to someone like you. She who all but had poor Diana shot for running after the gatekeeper's pug. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't want to stay here any longer. On the 24th of October, I go.
And then?
Yes, since you've raised the subject, it's time you started looking around for something. Seeing as we're going to get married.
What sort of thing? Can't have a job like this when I'm married.
No, of course not. Still, you might get something as a porter or a caretaker in some factory. A bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, and there'll be a pension for your wife and children.
Yeah, that's all very fine, but I'm not ready to die for my wife and children just yet. Thank you very much. I've got higher ambitions than that.
Ambitions? What about your responsibilities? You think of them.
Now, shut up about responsibilities. I know my duty. Look, we've got the time to talk about this later now. Go upstairs and get ready and we go to church.
Who's that? Walking about upstairs?
I don't know, Claire, I suppose.
Surely can't be his lordship. He couldn't have come back without our hearing him.
No, he would have rung.
God help me, I've never been mixed up in the likes of this before. I'm ready now.
Christina's awake.
Does she suspect anything?
No, she knows nothing. My God, what a sight you look.
Why, what's wrong?
You're as white as a corpse, and forgive me, but your face is dirty.
I better wash then. Oh, can you give me a towel? Thank you. Oh, the sun's rising.
Then the devil loses his power.
Yes, the devil's been at work tonight. Listen, Jean, come with me. I've got some money now.
Enough?
Enough to start. Come with me. I can't go alone, not today. Just think, Midsummer Day on a crowded train. Squashed amongst people, all staring at me. Having to stand still on a platform when one longs to be flying away. And memories. Memories of midsummer in childhood. Church garlanded with birch leaves and lilac. Dinner at the long table. Family, friends. Afternoons in the park. Music, dancing, games. Oh, one runs away, but you know memories follow. In the baggage wagon. And remorse and guilt.
I'll come with you. It must be now, at once, before it's too late. Now, this minute.
Right. Get dressed then.
No baggage, though. That'll give us away.
No. Only what we can have in the compartment with us.
What have you got there? What is it?
Oh, it's only my greenfinch. I can't leave her.
Can't bring a greenfinch with us now. Put it down.
It's my one memory of home. The only living thing that loves me since Diana was unfaithful to me. Don't be cruel. Let me take her with me.
Put that cage down, I tell you, and keep your voice down. Christine will hear it.
No, I won't leave her here for strangers to have. I'd rather you killed her.
All right, bring the little beast here, then I will.
All right. No, I can't do it.
Bring it here. I can.
It's all right. Poor little Serena. Are you going to die now? Huh? Leave your mistress?
Please don't make a scene. Your life and happiness are at stake. Here, quickly. You should have learned how to wring a chicken's neck instead of how to fire a pistol. Then you wouldn't have been frightened at the sight of a drop of blood.
Kill me too. Kill me too. If you can slaughter an innocent creature without a tremor. I hate you now. There is blood between us. I cursed the moment I set eyes on you. I cursed the moment I was conceived in my mother's womb.
What's the good of cursing? Come.
No, I don't want to go. I must see.
Shh.
There's a carriage outside. Do you think I can't bear the sight of blood? Do you think I'm weak? I'd like to see your blood. Your brains on the chopping block. I'd like to see your whole sex swimming in a lake of blood. I think I could drink from your skull. I'd like to bathe my feet in your guts. I could eat your heart roasted. think I'm weak? You think I loved you because my womb wanted your seed? You think I want to carry your embryo under my heart? Feed it with my blood. Bear your child. Take your name. Oh. By the way, what is your name? I don't believe I've heard it. You probably haven't any. I'd have to be Mrs. Kitchen Boy. Mrs. Lavatory Man. You dog who wear my collar. You lackey who carry my crest on your buttons. Am I to compete with my own cook? Share with the scullery slut? You think I'm a coward and want to run away? No. Now I shall stay. Let the storm break. My father will come home, find his desk broken open, his money gone. He'll ring that bell twice for his lackey, and then he shall call the police, and I shall tell everything, everything! And then he'll have a stroke and die. And that'll be the end of us all. And then there'll be peace. Oh, peace. Eternal rest. The coat of arms will be broken over the coffin, the title extinct. And the lackey's line will be carried on in an orphanage, win laurels in the gutter, and end in prison.
That's the blue blood talking. Bravo, Miss Julie. Let's give the miller a rest now.
Oh, Christine. Christine, help me against his man.
What kind of a spectacle is this on a Sunday morning? What a pigsty you've made here. What does all this mean? I never heard such shouting and bawling.
Christine, you must listen to me and I'll explain everything.
While you ladies discuss the matter, I'll just go and have a little shave.
Now, you must listen to me. You must try to understand.
No, this kind of thing I don't understand. Where are you going in those clothes? And what's he doing with his hat on? Eh? Eh?
Now, you must listen to me. I'll tell you everything.
I don't want to know anything.
You must listen to me.
About what? What you've done with Jean. That doesn't bother me. That's between you and him. But if you're thinking of trying to fool him into running away, we'll soon put a stop to that.
Just calm down and listen to me. But I can't stay here and Jean can't stay here. So we have to go away. Oh, listen, I've just had an idea. Why don't we all three go away abroad to Switzerland and start a hotel together? Isn't that a good idea? Mm-hmm. You've never been abroad, Christine, have you? You must get away from here and see the world. No idea what fun it is to travel by train. New countries all the time, new people. We could go to Hamburg and look at the zoo. You'd like that. When we get to Munich, there'll be all the museums. Rubens and Raphael, those great painters, you know. You have heard of Munich, haven't you? You know, where King Ludwig lived, the king who went mad. They've got his palaces there, just like in the fairy tales. We could see them. From there, it isn't far to Switzerland. Switzerland. Do you know the Alps have snow on them in the middle of summer? Oranges grow there, and laurel trees are green all the year round. Well, we could start a hotel, and Jean would stand at the doorway and receive the guests, and I'd sit at the desk. I'd write the letters and do the shopping. Oh, you've no idea what a life it'll be. Trains will whistle, the buses will arrive, and the bells will ring on all the floors and in the restaurant, too. I'd write the bills and sort them, too. You can't imagine how timid tourists are when they have to pay the bill. You'd be in charge of the kitchen. You wouldn't have to do any cooking yourself, of course. You'd wear fine clothes for the guests to see you in. You, with your looks, Christine, I'm not flattering you. You'd catch yourself a husband one fine day, a rich Englishman. You know, English people are so easy to catch. Well, we'd get rich, build ourselves a villa on Lake Como. Rains there sometimes. Sun must shine there sometimes, too. Looks dark. Well, if it doesn't, we can come back home again. Back to... back here. Somewhere.
Now listen. Do you believe all this?
Do I believe it?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't believe anything anymore. Nothing. Nothing at all.
So you were thinking of running away?
Running away is an exaggeration. You've heard Miss Julie's plan, and though she's tired now after being up all night, I think it's a very practical proposition.
Listen to him. Did you expect me to act as cook to that?
Kindly express yourself more respectfully when you refer to your mistress, understand?
Mistress?
Yes.
Listen to him. Listen to him.
Yes, listen to me and talk a little less. Miss Julie is your mistress, and what you despise in her, you should despise in yourself as well.
I've always had sufficient respect for myself.
To turn up your nose at others.
To stop me from demeaning myself. You tell me when you've seen his lordship's cook mucking around with the groom or the pig man. Just you tell me that.
Yes, you were lucky. You got a gentleman for yourself.
The gentleman who sells his lordship's oats, which he steals from the stable.
You should talk. You take a percentage on all the groceries and a rake off from the butcher.
What?
And you say you can't respect your mistress. You! You!
Are you coming with me to church now? You need a good sermon after what you've done.
No, I'm not going to church today. You go by yourself and confess what you've been up to.
Yes, I will. And I'll come home with my sins forgiven. And yours, too. The blessed Saviour suffered and died on the cross for all our sins. And if we turn to him with a loyal and humble heart, he'll take all our sins upon him.
Including the groceries.
Do you believe that, Christine?
With all my heart, Miss Julie. As sure as I stand here. I learned it as a child, and I've believed it ever since. And where the sin is exceeding great, there his mercy shall overflow.
Oh, if only I had your faith. If only.
Ah, but you can't have that, Miss Julie. Except by God's special grace. And that's not granted to everyone.
Who has it, then?
That's God's great secret, Miss Julie. And the Lord's no respecter of persons. There shall the last be first.
Oh, he has respect for the last. Then.
And it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's how it is, Miss Julie. Well, I'll be going. And as I pass the stable, I'll tell the groom not to let any of the horses out before his lordship comes home. Just in case. Goodbye.
Stupid bitch. All for a greenfinch.
Oh, forget the greenfinch. Can you see any way out of this, any at all?
No.
What would you do in my place?
What would I do? If I were a young lady of noble birth who'd fallen. I don't know. Yes, I do know.
This?
Yes, but I wouldn't do it, mind. There's a difference between us.
Because you are a man and I'm a woman. What difference does that make?
The difference between a man and a woman.
I want to do it. But I can't. You know, my father couldn't either the time he should have done.
No, he was right. He had to be revenged first.
Now my mother will be revenged again through me.
You never loved your father, Miss Julie.
Oh, yes. Enormously. But I hated him too. I must have done so without realizing it. You see, it was he who brought me up to despise my own sex. Made me half man, half woman. Who is to blame for what has happened? My father, my mother, or myself? Myself. I have no self. I haven't a thought I didn't get from my father, an emotion I didn't get from my mother. And this last idea that all men are equal, I got that from my fiancé, whom I called a wretched little fool because of it. Well, how can the fault be mine, then? Put it all onto Jesus, as Christine did. No. I'm too proud to do that, and too clever. Thanks to my learned father. What she said about the rich not getting to heaven, that's a lie. Anyway, Christine has money in the savings bank, so she won't get there either. What does it matter whose fault it is? I shall have to take the blame. Carry the consequences.
His lordship's home. Lord, do you suppose Christine...
Has he been to his desk?
It's Jean, my lord. Very well, my lord, at once, my lord. Very well, my lord, in half an hour.
What does he say, for God's sake? What does he say?
He wants his coffee and his boots in half an hour.
Half an hour. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Can't feel anything. Can't repent. Can't go away. Can't stay. Can't live. Can't die. Help me. Order me and I'll obey you like a dog. Do me this last service. Save my honor. Save his name. Jean, you know what I need to do. Will me to, Jean. Order me.
I can't. It's as though this coat may... I can't order you. Now, since his lordship spoke to me, I can't explain it properly. It's this damn lackey that sits on my back. I think if his lordship came down now and told me to cut my throat, I'd do it on the spot.
Then pretend that you are he and I'm you. You acted so well just now when you went down on your knees. You know? You were just like an aristocrat. Look, have you ever been to the theater and seen a hypnotist? You know, he says to his subject, take the broom, and he takes it, and he says, sweep, and he sweeps.
Subject has to be asleep.
I am already asleep. The whole room is like smoke about me. You look like an iron stove which resembles a man dressed in black with a tall hat. Your eyes are so bright, like coals when the fire's dying. Your face white smear like ash. So warm and good. So bright, peaceful.
Here is the room. Go now. It's bright. Out into the barn. And
Thank you. Oh, now I'm going to rest. Jean, just tell me this before I go. Those who were first, they too can receive grace. Say it even if you don't believe it.
those who are first. Oh, I can't. But, Miss Julie, you are no longer among the first. You are among the last.
Yes, yes, that's true. I am among the last. I am the last of all. Jean, I can't go. Will me to, Jean. Order me.
Oh, no, I can't either. I can't.
And the first shall be the last.
Don't take. You take all my strength away. You make me a coward. But the bell moved. We stuffed paper in it. So afraid of a bell. It isn't just a bell. Someone sitting behind it. A hand sets it in motion. Something else sets the hand in motion. You only got to close your ears. Just close your ears. Now it's ringing louder. He'll ring up and someone answers, and then it'll be too late. Police will come. It's horrible, but it's the only possible ending. Go.